Audience? What are you doing smelling roses? What if some of you are allergic? That's a selfish thing for some of you to do if some of you are allergic.
Hey, audience. What are you doing looking at Gypsy? She wants to nap in peace. She doesn't need you there.
Audience? What are you doing looking at my shadow? Audience, come on. Audience? What are you doing staring at that giant hedge wall? Audience? What are you doing inside my traffic violation envelope that I just... Audience? What are you doing looking at that sign that informs you of the presence of another sign in the near future? Audience? What are you doing looking at that white enchanted tree with the sun background? Audience? What are you doing hanging out my window like a dog, audience? Audience? What are you staring at those hieroglyphics on the ground for? Audience? What are you doing looking at my PIN number? Audience? What are you doing next to the propane? If somebody shot at you, you would explode. Audience? Audience? What are you doing? What are you doing all the way over here, audience? And how did I push record from all the way over there? Audience? Are you in a bird bath? Audience, that's for birds, not audience. Hey. Audience? We're burning the zombies, audience. Yeah. Audience? What are you doing under a leaf? Audience? What are you doing watching C-nanners play Call of Duty? He's got to focus, audience. Yeah. Audience? What are you doing in jail? What did you do? Audience? Are you swinging on this nice person's tree swing? What are you doing on a tree swing? Audience? What are you doing looking at that pipe that has vines and flowers wrapped around it? Audience? What are you doing sitting in that tree? Second of all, why am I in HD? Audience? What are you doing that close to a fence that says high voltage? Audience? What are you doing reading that inspirational quote? Audience? What are you doing? Are you taking shelter under a leaf, trying to hide from the sweltering heat? Audience? What's that you're looking at there, audience? What is that? Oh, punch buggy gray, no punch back, audience. Audience? What are you doing strapped to my chest like a baby Indian? Audience? What are you doing in the shade of the tall grass, audience? Audience? What are you doing in an umbrella, audience? 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 What are you doing in the recycling audience? Audience? What are you doing in an LA Weekly container, audience? Audience? What are you doing staring at that rusty spinny hand crank thing, audience? Audience? What happened to my face? Audience? What are you doing staring into that shopping cart? It says, warning, your child could fall out of this shopping cart, I imagine. Audience? What are you doing watching Justine Healy in a grocery? Audience? What are you doing in a couch I found on the side of the road? Audience? What are you doing in this folder of receipts that I keep in the drawer next to my door? Audience? Audience? Are you watching ice melt? Are you just sitting there watching ice melt and it happens to also be next to a whole bunch of angry ants? Audience? Are you leaning up against a Bel Air security sign? That's ironic. Armed response. Okay. Audience? What are you doing looking at that tree and the reflection of the tree in that puddle, audience? Audience? What are you doing staring at the sun? That's not a good habit to have. It's a good habit to drop is what it is. Audience? What are you doing wedged perfectly between that person's fence hole, man? Audience? What are you doing in that brown paper bag I found on the side of the road, audience? Audience? What are you doing looking at a tennis ball balancing on a little concrete pole, audience? Next to a bunch of bees. Audience? Are you balancing on that thing you fell off yesterday? What are you doing, audience? That's quite ballsy of you. Audience? What are you doing staring at that giant Christmas tree in front of the wall?